How to properly introduce someone. You have to introduce the main characters that you're going to put on TV. The only exception is the quick on-street interviews that you'll do. Them, you don't have to because they just pop on and pop off. But any main characters, the people that you want your audience to become emotionally invested in, you have to introduce. If you don't, we can't be invested. So, as you do, why not do it in a way that tells us their name and also advances the story? So many times, reporters write, "Meet Tim," or "Meet Sally." They especially do this with pets. Boyd Huppert would tell you in one of his workshops that to him, that's a waste of a line, a waste of an opportunity to tell us more about the character. He does this in many ways in his stories, and the easiest framework I found is this. To know Tim Smith is to know, and then fill in that gap, telling me something interesting about him that has to do with why he's in the story. Here are a few examples. To know co-owner Jim Ross is to know a man who values where he comes from.
I'm really proud of this community, this whole North Texas, but especially Arlington.
Hi, how are you?
To know Johanna Storm.
That's the biggest you got?
That is the biggest I have, yeah.
Is to be reassured that when your passion impacts others,
Thank you so much for doing this. You're welcome.
they'll come from all over to see you.
So is this good for allergies even if you lived in Duncanville?
It is. It's very encouraging to see that, other people value the same things that you have.
Let's make a few more.
To understand Christy Urpello and her sister Joanne is to know that they're doing more than growing the family business.
Okay.
They're furthering what you could call a frynasty.
Mother was the first person to bring funnel cakes to the state fair back in the 80s. Wanda Winter, she is the funnel cake queen.
The beginnings of a business, a state fair staple, still solely run by the women in the family.
I'm the CFO, the Chief Frying Officer.
Now let's talk about another way, using part, fill in the blank with an adjective, part, in other adjective, and then adding in the person's name. You'll understand this instantly when listening to these examples. How could you not be? Especially once you discover that whether it's the cupcakes or the more substantially crafted cakes, that for Heidi Allison,
I think this makes it look very 50s, which is good. Okay.
part artisan, part entrepreneur, all of this is a masterpiece she adds to with every order. This is what most people would expect to see and hear at the Humane Society of North Texas. In the back is what you wouldn't. Part pet, part head scratcher. Saudi the camel came here from a loving home in Tarrant County. It's just that life in that area is changing from rural to urban, and the family thought, that's no place for a camel. These are just two ways of doing this. Here's a montage of all sorts of different ways that I've introduced people in stories.
Hi, come on in. How are you?
If you mix a pinch of pizzazz with a pound of patience, you'll get a melody named Marchand Man.
And when you cut into it, you can see how it smells so good.
At Paulie Ayala's gym in Fort Worth. Most fighters here are training to knock out who's right in front of them. But walk to the back, and you'll find 3 people fighting what's inside them.
This is just warm-up.
To the strength, balance, and reflex workout.
I started trembling in my right hand. Started having difficulty holding, squeezing my toothbrush and applying pressure while I brushed my teeth.
That's helping them fight young onset Parkinson's disease.
4.5 years ago.
When Stacy Christopher was diagnosed.
First couple years are probably the hardest. You just kind of feel like your life's over and it's never going to be good again. This has just given me confidence to fight harder. Come to the shops at Willow Bend to fulfill a kid's Christmas wish.
A duck.
A duck?
Yeah.
A live, real duck, huh? Well, I'll tell you, Santa really doesn't deal in livestock.
And they may not get what they really want, because this is for those who look like us, see like us,
I'll bring you all kinds of surprises.
just can't
I'll see Christmas, okay?
hear like us.
No peeking. Can't, okay? To see their expressions, to see that, wow.
iPod.
iPod, woo!
Got it.
This Santa, who leaves his real name at the North Pole, can say more to a child through silence than most can
We keep getting good, okay?
speaking.
I'll see you Christmas Eve, okay?
We're gonna do the bow in the face.
Through music, Presley Jorgensen sees her future.
It's so much fun.
Her 8-year-old ambition yearns to be a music teacher.
I had a recital in December of 2011.
She's always practicing, including her second favorite thing to do, that's rough, around the edges.
I am coming down to see Dr. Horton right now.
Blind since birth, Presley reads the same books as those who can see.
I will try, said Amelia Bedelia.
And it's her mastery of it that after passing 3 tests at Keller ISD,
Oh, they're simple.
that's taking her to the National Braille Challenge.
Just frustrated. It's just difficult for me to explain why it happens.
Pastor Julio Cruz Natal of the Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Dallas is searching for answers after vandals broke in late Sunday evening, shattering windows, making a mess of a classroom, smashing a TV, randomly throwing syrup, and aimlessly tossing food around, including this turkey, to shatter more windows.
It was just hard to believe that anyone would do that to our community center.
At church, people find a higher power. At First United Methodist Church in Kennedale,
No, I go strictly by pounds.
Robin Evans is finding a higher calling.
Oh, because I think that this is more important.
Evans popped up on her perch Friday morning and won't come down until people have donated 50,000 pounds of food to the church to be shared by Tarrant County food pantries.
No, she's not crazy. She's doing a good job.
Even with our hot, unpredictable weather.
Her tent kind of wobbled last night with the wind.
She only comes down for bathroom breaks, which don't last long.
As you can see, it's a pitch, and we didn't want any porta potty or camping potty just flying down. And so, yes, that's the only time I do get to come down.
Everything else takes place topside. Whatever she needs is brought to her by this.
Thank you.
And when it comes to being clean,
That's awesome. Thank you.
that too takes place for everyone to see.
Here they come.
Buddy Uri runs the Snooty Pig Cafe in Fort Worth, just north of the proposed 35 West expansion.
Everybody seems to be moving out here. They're building more homes out here. It's just a nice little area.
If you've ever wondered where patriotism likes to put its head, it'd be here in Irving at Nell Ann Hunt's house.
People think about their differences, but under the American flag, we're all the same.
It's that attitude that 19 years ago took her from not putting out just one American flag outside her home for the 4th of July, but circling it with hundreds.
Over the top, maybe.
Her neighbors loved it and helped her buy more to decorate the neighborhood. Back from the ashes.
I bought this in '95 and moved out here to live happily ever after.
Jim Brumbelow did that 16 years ago here in Sportsman's World. Then last year's Possum Kingdom wildfires became the tragedy to tear through his fairy tale.
This is debris that I cleaned off the slab. I was actually able to use my slab.
Doing this will definitely make your writing stand out because it'll sound different. It'll feel different than the stories viewers are used to watching. And maybe too at some point you come up with your own formula because that's the great thing about writing. It's just words, which makes it an area where it's easy to be creative. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.